This is Jamey from Stonemeyer Games, and today I'm going to talk about some recommendations I have for the final week of your Kickstarter project. A lot of these are geared around ways to prepare your project page for maximum impact in the final week. Just a few quick tips here. The first is if you have paid advertising for your project, probably on Board Game Geek, maybe on Facebook and other places, update those ads so that they emphasize the urgency. Maybe they'll say like final 48 hours, final 72 hours, final week, and mention the number of stretch goals that you've unlocked. That can be a powerful thing to get people who maybe ignore the project up front. Suddenly they see that you have 10, 20 stretch goals unlocked, and they're like, I want to check it out. I want to see what all the additional stuff is. As part of that stretch goal thing, tied to the project page, I'd recommend that you look at your project page from the vantage point of someone who is either discovering it for the first time or who is rediscovering it for the first time. Maybe they clicked the Remind Me button to give them a reminder at the final 48-hour point. And part of that is enhancing the main project image and the what's in the box image with the stretch goal content. So these images should no longer be what they were at the beginning of the project. If you've added new stretch goals and new components and new parts to the game, they should be featured in some way on those images. That's my recommendation. That's what I tried to do on my projects. I recommend being, especially in the final week, being very clear about the pledge manager system that you're going to use after the project. If you're just going to use the plain old Kickstarter survey system, that's what I did on my projects, that's perfectly fine. Make sure backers know that they can't just upgrade their pledge after the project is over, that there won't be a pledge manager. Maybe you have a pledge manager where they can pledge for $1 and do whatever they want after the project ends at the same prices. Mention that too. But whatever your system is, there are some things in between there too. Be very clear about it so existing backers know what they need to do, or new backers, what they need to do to get all the stuff they want and when they need to make the pledges to make that happen. As another part of that, I recommend sending out messages to each of your lower tier backer cores. So if you have like a $1 reward, a $50 reward, a $60 reward, and then a $100 reward, you don't need to message the $100 backers, but you can send messages, mass messages, to each of the other reward levels to remind them that the project is ending soon and that if they want to upgrade, now is the time to do so. Don't be pushy about it, just be grateful for their pledge and say, if you want to upgrade, now's the time to do it. What else here? Oh, of course, be available and responsive. This is something for the entire project, but especially for the final week, the final 48 hours, the final day, the final hour. These are times that you need to be on the clock, that you are on your project, that you're there live to answer questions and comments and messages right away. And last, when it comes down to the final few minutes, you want to be prepared to update your project page for how it's going to look when the project is over, because you can't edit most elements of the project page after the project ends. You can edit the image and a link in the upper right, but the body text of the page you cannot edit at all. So if there's anything that you want to put on those project pages, go back, and I would recommend actually looking at my projects like Scythe, Tuscany. Look at them and look at like the top few lines, because I say some things in those lines that are clearly put there at the very end of the project for me knowing that I won't be able to edit them later. There are things that, because people will continue to discover your project even after it ends, and you need to help them go to where they need to go to still get the game later. Yeah, those are my recommendations. There's a lot more stuff on my blog under like the last week. So look at the Kickstarter Lessons blog under last week and ask me any questions you want. I'm happy to answer them there. Thanks.